Cause I don't care what you think.
Love.
Circles are packing their car. It looks like they're going on vacation.
Oh yeah.
We're back at it again. You know, it's Steve and Laura time all the time. We're looking at the relationship of, you know, father, daughter, and Urkel.
How much luggage?
2 weeks worth, easy.
2 weeks without Steve Urkel? Wow. Maybe dreams really do come true.
Land that line, girl.
Tail lights. The Urkels are gone.
Look at this. Look at this celebration. Again, I just want to point out, look at the environment that Laura's in. That she has her mom, she has her aunt, she has her family literally celebrating the fact that Steve is leaving. And again, I'm going to ask the question for those who are, Laura made Steve wait. Laura should have got with Steve sooner. In these type of situations, you explain to me how Laura's supposed to do that. How is Laura supposed to even see Steve for all that he is? How is she supposed to give her heart to him where she said, well, 2 weeks, dreams really do come true. Let's show this here.
I miss Steve Urkel.
Oh, you need professional help.
See, I told you.
Oh, come on. I'm just teasing.
Race there that this isn't Carl. And she said, I'm just teasing. That's the point that I want to make. That the environment that Laura is in, that whenever it comes to Steve, Laura gets mocked. She gets teased, right? You saw her say, you know, she missed Steve. And then what was Aunt Rachel's reaction? Like, oh my gosh, like something terrible just happened.
Steve, forget about you.
Right.
And concentrate on Myra, right?
Yep.
Right.
Wrong advice.
And that was 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
And I haven't seen him since.
Ooh.
So, why aren't you thrilled?
I was at first, but then starting a couple of days ago, I actually started to miss him.
2 weeks, right? And the girl, she's sad, looked like she lost her dog, lost her best friend. Everything good looked like she lost, okay? And all I'm saying is, what is the difference between these two? Like, and we have to think about the environment that Laura is being raised in when it pertains to Steve. You know, how they react to him and how she thinks she's supposed to react to him. You feel what I'm saying? And so you're seeing, what's the difference? It's the same 2 weeks, right? It's the same two people, because I keep trying to tell you, Laura kind of gives into the environment around her. But deep down, it's not totally how she feels about Steve.
We have tail lights. The Urkels are gone.
Look at this. Look at this celebration. Right.
Get down with our band.
Right. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Get in there, Steve. Get in there, Steve. Get in there. Get in there, Steve.
Where are you going to be staying while your parents are gone? Some relative's house far, far away?
Be right next door, batching it for the next 2 weeks. Your parents left a 15-year-old boy home by himself. Boy.
Oh.
I see no boy.
He said, boy. And it was perfect. This was actually perfect because as he said, boy, his voice was cracking. You can tell Jalil's voice was kind of cracking. He was turning into his manhood here, I think. But it was perfect timing on that.
I see a man.
I see a man.
But I can't stand the thought of you being in that empty house all by yourself. You're
right.
staying with us.
You're staying here.
Oh, well, gee. Since there don't seem to be any objections.
And again, I'm just going to keep asking the question. But Laura's supposed to fall in love with Steve here. Laura's supposed to fall in love with Steve when she doesn't have any support around her. And the energy that she is getting is not good. Now, you can say, well, Laura just played. I just showed you the video, though. But Laura just said, Steve, no, because she's playing into her environment. That's the one thing you will learn as you get older. Your environment almost shapes you. It shapes who you are. It shapes how you think. It shapes how you view other people, how you view situations. Yeah, Laura's being a product of her environment. Her environment sees Steve as a nuisance. Her environment sees Steve as a pest. She's being a part of her environment.
I'm a tree, by golly.
Look at that.
Hey, and don't worry. I will not be a freeloader.
Let me ask you to stay. All you had to do was just stay.
You know, big guy, when you're right, you're right.
You're right.
So what are you going to do the next time we ask you to stay?
I'll relax. I won't try so hard. I'll just stay.
Stay.
You got it.
I want people to look. Look at Laura's face in the background. Smiling. She's smiling. Okay? What are we seeing? Her dad is embracing Steve. He's embracing him. He's talking good. He's giving good energy, good vibes. What do you see on Laura's face? A smile, right? Don't try to tell me that how her family interacts with Steve does not affect her. It does. Look at that. I mean, Kelly got one of the most beautiful smiles, boy. Look at that, though. Okay.
Gee, thanks, big guy.
Yep. To say this is a very sweet moment between Carl and Steve, too. Very sweet moment.
Wonderful, warm, touching moment. Do I feel a group hug coming on? No. I didn't think so. So let's dance. Shall remain perched here upon this roof until Laura Winslow agrees to go out with me.
And he's serious too, because he used all his name and all of her name. Okay, Steve on the reel right now. He on the roof, but he also on the reel. You know what I'm saying?
You pulling a crazy stunt like this?
Carl, unfortunately, my legendary love for your daughter is unrequited. Therefore, I shall remain here upon your roof until Laura Winslow sees the folly of her ways.
Steve, tell him. I love Steve's boldness sometimes. And I think people overlook this when it comes to Steve. And you see, I mean, let's keep it real. Okay, it's a little outrageous. I told you, he real on the roof right now. You know, he's on the roof, but I love his clarity here. You know, hey, look, I ain't trying to go hard on you, brothers. But some of y'all brothers, like, y'all don't really even, when you pursue a girl, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you want to go. And I love the fact that Steve has the vision already, the clarity, and that he's going to go and tell, you know, Laura's papa to his face on his roof, on Papa roof, what it is. I respect it.
Why aren't you kicking Steve off of here?
Right, it's
Simple.
dangerous. It's
As
dangerous.
long as he's on our house, he can't be in our house.
Wow. Confident, intimate, real true relationship with Steve when she got her family that don't barely even want to deal with him. And y'all act like that this isn't a big deal. It is. It's a big deal.
Steve.
Steve sleeps ugly.
Steve! Look at this. You almost killed yourself. I want you to come down from this roof.
Will you go out with me?
No.
Then here I stay.
I love how Laura's coming out here. Now, what are we seeing that's different? Eddie says, Dad, why aren't you kicking Steve off the roof? Why aren't you kicking him off the roof? Because if he's on the roof, he can't be in the house. Laura's coming with the complete opposite. No one ever talks about this. Laura's coming with a completely different energy. Steve, I want you off this roof because she's scared for his safety. I just wanted people to pick that up.
Crazy.
Laura, I don't care. Men swim oceans, climb mountains, and trudge across deserts for their women.
Good night, kids.
Good idea.
Night, Uncle Carl.
Night, Rich.
Bye, big guy.
Steve, you know, it's starting to snow pretty hard.
Oh, Steve almost fell.
Sorry, I slipped.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
He's even annoying up there.
you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, these are things that are said to Laura's face about Steve. But let y'all tell Laura should have got with Steve. She did. Okay. I wonder where Laura's going. I wonder where she going. Look at this girl. Risking her own life. Brought him a blanket and everything. Oh.
Oh, thank you, darling. I'm so cold. They say the best cure for hypothermia is body heat.
Yeah. I just love the drasticness on both sides right now. Steve is on the roof freezing, and Laura recognizes that. goes into the freezing weather on the roof. You know what I'm saying? Endangering her own life. Brings him a blanket. Okay, I'm just putting it together for you just in case you don't understand.
Look, I've been thinking about what you're doing here, and I must admit that it is kind of romantic.
Mm-hmm.
In a bizarre, twisted, obnoxious sort of way.
I told you, none of this stuff is lost on Laura. None of this stuff that Steve is doing is lost on her at all.
Well, just maybe we could go out on a date. As a friend.
As a friend.
Laura, my lady, my love.
Your friend.
Your friend.
My friend.
Love here is what I said before, friendship. What Laura is again, let y'all tell it, but what Laura's offering Steve is one of the greatest gifts you can ever give somebody. Friendship. Y'all want to look down on Laura when there's so many times that Laura has indicated and said, hey, I'll go out on a date with you as your friend. Building a friendship. Okay.
Do you suppose we could commemorate this occasion with a hug?
Some snuggles.
Well, I guess somebody will see.
You want some snuggles? He said body. Didn't he say that? A way to keep yourself warm was body heat. See, Steve, people don't realize it. Steve knows what he's doing here. He knows what he's doing here. He got that body heat from Laura he wanted. Uh-huh.
Steve, let go.
Yeah, let go.
Sorry, I'm just being friendly.
I want to make sure that I say, that the Winslows, as we know, the Winslows are a phenomenal family. Carl is a phenomenal mom. Carl is a phenomenal dad. Harriet is a phenomenal mom. This is a phenomenal family that Laura's in. I want to make sure that I make that clear. But phenomenal does not mean perfect. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal, does not mean loving, does not mean perfect, right? And so one of the things that I think people see that I feel like they never acknowledge is that Laura's very ingrained in her family. Is she not? She's very ingrained in her family. So what happens to her family happens to her. Some of the views and some of the ways, that her family sees things, reacts to things, does things, she's a product of her environment. And this is, again, why I wanted to look at the dynamic of Steve, Laura, Carl. Because, even like I said, even the family. And I just keep asking this question, God. Laura made Steve wait, and she was mean to Steve. But it's like y'all never talk about nobody else. Number one, this is a slew. This is Carl, Rachel, Eddie. Nobody ever even talks about Eddie. How many times Eddie tried to cancel Steve? How many times Carl tried to cancel Steve? It's just always about Laura. But I think when you go and do that, first of all, you show your hater color. You know what I'm saying? You show you know what that color is, huh? You're a little green. When you just go and you just focus specifically on Laura, it just shows that you're a hater. Because you're not considering the whole situation. You're not considering her environment. Yes, again, Laura comes from a good home. You know what I'm saying? She comes from a good home. And, her parents are great role models. But that doesn't mean that they handle everything the right way. See everybody doing a jig. What is Laura supposed to do in these situations? What is she supposed to do? It's her environment. But these are except for Eddie, because Eddie's kind of around the same age. But these are her examples. Her Aunt Rachel is her example. Her mother is her example, right? Her dad is her example. And they dance in a jig. Because Steve is not there. What is Laura supposed to do? That's why I said this whole thing. Laura raised Steve. Wait. Laura can't be with Steve right now. It's premature. It would have never worked out, because her family would not even have been ready to receive it. I just really wanted to point out is the family dynamic, right? Because this is why it's so funny. Some of y'all just really crack me up. You recognize how valuable your family is, what they think, how they feel, how they perceive you, right? those things are valuable to you, but they're not valuable to Laura. Those things impact you, but they don't impact Laura. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see it all the time. Like, man, I like this guy, but my parents are not going to go for it. Like, that is a big thing. Like, who you bring home to mama and papa is a big thing. It has separated families. Well, Laura, she needs to be a thinker, and she needs to stand for herself and think for herself. And like I said, majority of y'all don't even do that. You 52 years old, and you still crumble when it comes to what your family say. And the family unit is huge. It is huge, huge, huge in our lives. And let's keep it real. The family unit makes us or breaks us. Right? This is what you're seeing in this situation, when it comes to Laura. And I showed you when Carl's vibe, whenever Carl's vibe changes with Steve, so does Laura's. It was our great family. I would want to be a Winslow. We wanted to be a Winslow because we wanted to be Laura Winslow. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to be a Winslow. But they don't have the healthiest perspective of Steve all the time. And I think his personality and the way that he is, they don't necessarily know how to respond. And so since they don't know how to respond, what's going to happen? Laura's going to, you know what I'm saying? She's going to walk into those footsteps and kind of repeat the same thing. There are times, and we saw them, right? When she went out there, to go, and nobody else did that. Nobody else went up there onto that roof and gave Steve nothing but Laura. But again, Laura's the bad one. Because there's times that Laura will pop out of her family and will really kind of go in the direction of how she feels on the inside. Nobody else did that. Carl did. None of the men, not Eddie, not Carl, none of them went up there and like, let me go and give this dude a this. No, it was Laura. Laura's the one that went up there, and tried to talk him down. Laura was the one that went up there and gave him a towel. So he gave him a blanket, a snuggly blanket, so that he doesn't freeze. And even said, hey, I will go out with you to get that boy off the roof. Laura did all that. Laura got Steve off the roof. Nobody else. Guys, you know yourself how much your mom has influenced some of your decisions, how much your dad has influenced some of your decisions, how much your family as a whole, the way you were raised, all these things have influenced your decision. But then again, I'm going to ask, but Laura does not get the same grace. Yes, right now, is she following the flow of the Winslow? Yes, that is exactly what she's doing. Before, Laura sees some similarities in Steve, in herself. She does, right? And there are things that Laura values about Steve, and there are things that she actually thinks very highly of. And one of them is his brain, right?
Well, is there anything you do like about me?
Well, you're intelligent. I like that. In fact, I think brains are very sexy.
Sexy?
In a platonic sort of way.
You saw it right there where Laura says all these things. So this is the thing that, people never see and never give Laura props on is the fact that she does believe in him. She has a connection with him. She has a vibe, a bond with him that nobody else does, but she doesn't tell anybody. She keeps it to herself, right? And you'll see that it'll grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. You know what I'm saying? To their husband and wife. And the other thing, too, that I would say that I love that Laura's doing here, that y'all, again, Laura made Steve wait. Yes, on a romantic relationship, not period. Laura keeps trying to foster friendship with Steve. She keeps trying to foster friendship. Steve is like, I'm trying to be romantic with you. And you have to think about on the side of Steve, when y'all sit up here and say, Laura made Steve wait, I need y'all to use your full brain, because what are they really going to do right now? Steve wants to marry Laura. He wants to marry her, and you hear that all the time, right?
Oh, where are my little ray of sunshine?
Ray of sunshine.
What do you want, Steve?
Your hand in marriage and 2.3 children.
Right. Right? You hear it all the time, little things that he says. Steve don't want to just date Laura. Steve ain't trying to, make that bad move with Laura. Like, he ain't trying to do all that. Steve is trying to marry her, then make the bad move. But he's trying to marry her first. He wants to have kids with her. This isn't like, oh, high school dating, cute. No, Steve's like, I want to spend my life with this woman, right? So Steve is really trying to wife Laura, but the whole time Laura is fostering friendship. Even when she told Steve, I like your brain. I think that's sexy. And then he's like, oh, really? And, and then she says platonic, right? but that's still something, And so this is what I keep saying. It's like, yes, Steve wants a romantic relationship with Laura, but that is not what is happening right now. But what is happening is still something very special. Is Laura trying to foster a friendship? Us nowadays and today, we try to overlook friendships so much. But I'm telling you, if you were to never get married, but have the greatest friendships, you would still live a fulfilled life. Friendship is so important. And you see that is the thing that is building between Steve and Laura. But let y'all tell it, and even let Steve tell it, nothing's working. Nothing's happening. Laura's rejecting me. No. Something is building that's greater and stronger than what you can even imagine. And here's the thing. The most beautiful things, or the beautiful thing about the love story of Steve and Laura, what's so beautiful about it, guys, is like God actually gave Steve more than he initially wanted. Because what you can see in this situation, Steve wanted romance. He wanted snuggles and kisses and cuddles and all that type of stuff. But in the process, because Laura was not ready, right? Laura had to find herself. Laura had to recognize the value that Steve, not who he is as a person. See, people don't understand that. Laura understood the value of Steve individually. Laura had to learn Steve's value to her life, to her purpose, you know what I'm saying? And the beautiful part about it is, in the end, if y'all know the beautiful love story of Steve and Laura, you know what I'm saying? When they were deciding to get married, Steve and Laura were the best of friends. They weren't just going to be husband and wife. They were the best of friends. They know each other back and forth. The favorite foods, they know each other. They have built a lasting, beautiful friendship. And that's what I just don't understand, why people don't see this about Laura. Y'all always want to point out the negative, but I just see the positive in her, because I understand Laura's human, because I understand what it's like to be in a family and you're expected to go one way, you know what I'm saying? But your heart's telling you to go this way. They're telling you to go right, but you feel like the Lord's telling you to go left, go the way of God. You know what I'm saying? And even when I do that, do you know how much pushback I get for that? Because sometimes the family like, we're going to do this. I'm like, I don't feel like the Lord's leading me to do that. I'm going to go do this. I get so much pushback all the time. The Bible says to honor your father and mother, right? The Bible tells you that. The Bible says you lengthen your life by honoring your father and mother. But the Bible also says that you honor him before you honor them. Exodus, 20 and 12. It says, honor your father and mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. So that is a commandment that we have to do, is honor our father and mother. It says it will lengthen your days. But here's the other thing that I want to continue to encourage you in. Maybe you don't have that supportive parent, like I said before. You don't have that supportive mother. You don't have that supportive family. Maybe you feel completely alone. This is why I want to continue to encourage, seek the Lord. I formed you in your mother's womb. I formed you. Like, that's what the Bible says. So God knows us better than anybody else. And that's what I would say when you're feeling lonely. You're feeling like nobody understands you. You're feeling like you can't ever get it right. You feel like you have no purpose. You feel like your life don't even matter. That's why I would say, turn to God, turn to the Lord, put your trust in Jesus. I've had to do this myself quite often. That's why I just want to encourage for those that, hey, you got a good father and mother, continue to honor them. Like the Bible said, hey, if you don't have that good father and mother, I would look to the Lord, look to God. He was the one that put you on this earth with purpose, but you got to understand, not your purpose, not their purpose, but with his purpose in mind. With his we are all here with purpose, but it's his purpose in mind for us. And that's what I just want to encourage you in. You matter, you have a purpose, and you are loved by a heavenly Father. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.
Yeah, take a risk, don't never take a break. Never. Make it